Howdy, this is Matt, and this is the recorded version from the coffee morning which we had on the 18th of March 2014.
And today's topic is the eBay Spring Seller updates for 2014.
And a quick note is that the audio and video quality is not fantastic because it is a recorded meeting. And also that no edits have been made whatsoever. And again, we've just put this little intro at the beginning and this little outro at the end. What has been said, and that's where it stands, and that's what our opinion was at that point in time.
Now, if you want to get involved with next week's coffee meeting, then you can go to the link understandinge.com/coffee-morning, and it's free to join. All you need to join is a headset or speakers.
And if you'd like to join in the discussion, so it's not just myself
or me
talking, then email us at support@understandinge.com and we'll set up a quick demo meeting with you just to make sure your headset and microphone is working and that we don't get massive amounts of feedback, and we can get you to join in next week. So dig in, and the meeting's about to start. See you soon.
Right, should we kick off, Dave?
Let's go for it.
Excellent. Okay, so number one, thank you for joining us this morning. Very, very much appreciated. And what we're going to do, there's going to be other people joining in the background, so if you do join us halfway through, apologies. We'll just be running through. So right now, we're just going to focus upon the agenda for our chat this morning. Morning, Simon. Good morning, BCF. I now know who you are. Thank you for joining us this morning. Okay, so we've got a little quick agenda for this morning. So number one is introductions and housekeeping. We were going to have two guests on this morning. I haven't seen Ian arrive with us just yet, and I know that Henry has had microphone problems this morning, so it's a bit touch and go whether Henry or Ian are going to be joining us. So if you do have a microphone set up on your computer, can you let us know in the chat box in the bottom left hand corner? Because if we can get you to join in the conversation, then we're well up for that one. Okay, Natasha, Dell's not allowed this week. Okay, so what I'm going to say, so picking on Natasha specifically, if you want to join us in for the chat, just give us a little message in the box. Dave,
Yes,
you can actually unmute and promote Natasha as well in the background.
Ooh.
Okay, all right. So focusing on introductions and housekeepings. Okay, so introductions. I'm Matt. Very nice to meet you. And I don't have a cold this week, so my voice isn't so croaky as it was last week. And Alessandro, fantastic. So Dave, do you want to just keep an eye on the chat for me when I go on through?
Sure.
Okay. General housekeeping is that you all are muted at the moment. But if you do want to join us on for a chat, please just let us know, and Dave will unmute you at the bottom. Okay. The chat box is in the bottom left-hand corner, and there is one house rule which you'll see in a moment. It's a really important house rule. It's something which I live by all the time. Okay, and you'll find out about that in a few moments. We are going to be doing a quick 101 of UnderstandingE. So if you're new to UnderstandingE, we'll just give you a quick 101 of the site. And again, those of you which have seen UnderstandingE before, just sip coffee for a minute or two. We'll keep it really, really short as possible. Today's topic is going to be the eBay Spring updates and how they affect us as sellers. And that's what we're going to be focusing on there. And I do have two extra bonus ones at the end, which is for AOB for any other business, which is export my listings to bring you up to speed with that. I've spent the vast majority of yesterday working on the site. And again, to give you an idea how much coding I did yesterday, I had to cut my nails to be able to type fast enough to keep up with my coding for it. So it is coming on really well. Oh, and we've also got a responsive eBay listing template as well, which is going to be put into the listing template builder. Okay. Now, I did mention there's one house rule, which is that there is no such thing as a daft question if you don't know the answer. Okay, and that's going to be the theme which we have through all of the Tuesday morning meetups. Okay, so for every coffee morning, it's a chance for us to speak to you and you to speak to us. Okay, so if you have a question, ask. You're amongst friends here. Everybody which has joined this meeting is that they're all business owners like you, and chances are they've been through the same process as you at some point in time, and somebody in this room probably knows the answer. Okay, that's the irony, is that we're a group of business owners. I've been there and worn the t-shirt. Dave's been in the business, which has seen it, and you've all seen so many different aspects, and if we can work together, that would be fantastic. Okay, Dave, can you grab Marco and unmute him, please?
Yes, sure, we can unmute Marco.
Okay, Marco, once you've been promoted, you'll need to unmute yourself at the top of the screen. Okay. Yeah, and as Dell says, is that if you're thinking of it, somebody else is probably thinking it as well. Again, that's why there's no such thing as a daft question. And again, we're just going to have a quick 101 of UnderstandingE. We'll keep this really, really short, and it's just for the new guys and girls which have joined UnderstandingE, and it's their first time meeting us and UnderstandingE. So let me just go and grab a incognito window, which I have somewhere or other. There we go. So you'll be able to see the UnderstandingE website on your screen right now. Really straightforward. To log in, just hit login at the top. Grab my testing account and sign in. After you sign in, you'll be taken to your dashboard. Now, actually, there's a point here. Is that those of you which are new to UnderstandingE, is that I've been updated and changed the dashboard now, so that you've got several tabs here at the top. Okay, Marco, we are getting a little bit of feedback from your microphone at the moment.
Yeah. Hi, guys.
Okay. Yeah. Hiya, fella. I'm just going to mute you, Mo, and then we'll grab you after this little section, all right?
Perfect.
Okay. Nice. So I have been updated this. So you've got your courses and my account, and any orders which you've got are now stored within your dashboard. Okay. To start a course is that if you got to the top and click on View Courses, and those of you who've just joined us, we're just having a quick 101 of UnderstandingE, and then we're going to get into today's topic, which is the eBay seller updates. And just coming back, if you are new to UnderstandingE, you'll probably want to start with getting started with Magento. There's only two things which we assume. Number one, you have an eBay business. Number two, you've never ever used Magento before. That's the two requirements. Number one, you've never used Magento before. If you have, you're a couple of steps in front. And number two, that you do need an existing eBay business to start with UnderstandingE. If you go into any of the courses, is that what you'll notice up here is that I've actually been and started this course, and that's why we've got the in progress bar at the top, and we can see our percentage completion as well. If I just go back a tab and pick one which I haven't started, let's go to listing items, so listings to eBay with item specifics, and you want to view any of these tutorials, is that remember to press start taking this course button. Again, it will pause for a moment, and then of course, then once you go into any of the tutorials, you'll be able to view the video tutorial, any of the supporting documents, and also remember, once you've been and watched a tutorial, is that if you click the complete tutorial button, that's how you can track your progress through any of the courses. And once you've gone through a couple of the courses, is that, or any of the lessons, is that if you've got to my courses at the top, you'll be able to see which courses you've started, what your progress is. So you'll see that I'm on 4% for getting started. I'm on 14% for listing item specifics to eBay because I've been in Mark 1 is completed. And I'm only 8% through importing products into Magento. And of course, once you complete courses, then you can click on the completed courses tab and you'll be able to see your progress. one other little feature which we did put in is that if we add a new tutorial to one of the courses, then it will jump from the completed courses back into the active courses tab for you. Okay. Now, if you do have a question at any point in time, remember the house rule is, let me just go back. There is no such thing as a daft question if you don't know the answer, okay, is that you can ask any questions which you may have on the bottom of any of the tutorials. So if we scroll down to the bottom, there is a box down here, and just leave us a comment in there. If you're unsure about anything, just leave a comment in there. Or if it's a more of an ad hoc question, then the forums are always open, and you can find the forums by going to the top of the page and clicking on forums, and just pick an apps forum. So we'll pick on getting started for M2E Pro, and there's the green button there on the right hand side. If you click on add topic, give the topic a name in there, enter your message, and then hit submit topic. And of course, myself or Dave will be back to you as soon as we can, or Callum or any of the other, Dale, for example, any of you may be back get back to you before even me and Dave do. And again, that's the nice thing here. We're working together as a community. So on that note, if you do see a question which someone else has asked and you think you can answer it, jump in. It's an open forum. So if you, again, it's twofold. If you can help someone else, that's fantastic. And if someone else can help you, they will do. Okay, again, we all know that we're all business owners and together we can work forwards. And again, good morning to everybody who's just been enjoying us there in the background. We just had a quick 101 of the UnderstandingE website. So that's enough about the UnderstandingE website. And for those of you which have just joined, remember, there's no such thing as a daft question if you don't know the answers. Okay, so on to the eBay spring updates, Dave.
Indeed. And it was, I think largely it was a positive update from eBay. There's a lot of interesting things that were coming out of it. Yes, there were some not so good things with obviously the fee increases spring to mind. No one likes a fee increase, but at the end of the day, eBay, they're providing a service for your business, and they're a business as well. They've got to make money too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, we did have all the big fee changes last year. Was it last year which we had them all come in? There was numerous of them which came in. What I didn't realise was the scale of the fee changes, or how many categories were going to be affected. That was a kind of a big one. We'll look at the fee change specifically in a moment. But just from like an outsider's point of view to the eBay updates, is that if we look back in 2013, is that when I spoke with the eBay team, they were pretty beat up. And morning, Steve, there in the background, is that they were, again, it's just an observation from my point of view. The team felt a little bit beat up because they'd had this survey done. And what I'm going to do, Dave, I'm just going to grab the UnderstandingE site across, and let me just grab that image. And they've been kind of poorly rated against other retailers. They didn't actually say like for Amazon, but it was pretty much where that was going. And there were several things where they were lacking, like larger pictures. And again, we've seen eBay work on this for the last year or more to get larger pictures in there with the zoom and the galleries. We've seen they were getting scored low for free delivery, and we've seen eBay put that in there with fast and free, which has come through. And also we got managed returns, which is not part of that, kind of free returns. So they've gone from this low-hanging fruit for a Red Cross, they've come through. Same-day delivery. eBay bought Shuttle last year, which was very, very curious. And again, that's same-day delivery. And again, they're charging about £7 or £6.99 for same-day delivery. But it only right now, it only kind of suits higher volume businesses, which are able to facilitate that quick dispatch of products to make them available to actually be dispatched. And again, it's a local area, so it'll be London and other major cities as well. We also saw a couple of other things as well. We saw the click and collect program. And Dave, when we were in London, when we walked past Argos, there was that great big wall with eBay splattered on the back of it and all the
There
pins.
was a massive clicker, and I've not seen one of those up in Manchester yet. But yeah, that was the first time I'd ever seen the full-on click and collect service with eBay branding. It was pretty impressive, really.
Okay. And there were some other little smaller updates in as well. Again, we haven't seen the expansion of the click and collect to officially to other sellers, but the businesses which I've been speaking to, eBay have been approaching them to expand that out, and they've had some really attractive deals as well. And again, if you they may come to you that directly for that, and again, hopefully they roll it out to everybody. Again, personally, I don't ever foresee myself actually using Argos Click and Collect because I work from home, so I can always have a delivery, probably like most of you. But your customers, they actually work, as in they go to an office and they may not be able to have deliveries there. And having something like Click and Collect, which is from an Argos store, which is open out of normal working hours, could be highly advantageous for us. And again, Collect Plus is hopefully we'll start seeing that as well. Okay. All right. We also, let me just move on a slide, Dave. A couple of quick wins for us, actually. Picture standards. So we knew that the picture sizes were going to be increasing, and what for a very long time. So we've got to have a minimum of 500 pixels on our images. And Dave, we picked this up. Was it last week or the week before? We popped we popped in a tutorial, and we got a PHP script for you so that it will dynamically resize images when you import products into Magento. Now, this is a standalone script, so if you're not using Magento or MagMe and you're using another tool, is that you can pick that script up and put it in front of any of your image URLs, and it will check them automatically. Again, that's unsupported, but it will work with that as well. Oh, and there's a really cool tool, which the link's up on my screen right now, is that you basically enter your eBay ID in there, and it will go off and it will tell you which of your, if any, which of your eBay listings will be affected by the update. And this is really important because if you do have a listing, and again, maybe you've sold 10 or maybe you sold 100 products on it, is that when that listing now goes to relist, it will end if the image is less than 500 pixels wide, okay? And that's a free tool which will check your actual listings. It will go in and tell you which ones are at risk of this, and that's really important that you go through. And again, even if you're pretty sure all your images are fine, again, it's me as being you on your side of the table almost, I would just go and pop my eBay ID in there and just make sure it works, just for peace of mind, because that's the last thing which I want to happen is for one of mine or one of your listings to be ended just because one of the images wasn't big enough. And again, it would take to like 2 minutes to resize it in Photoshop or Paint, as the case may be, up to the limits. Next one is that we do, and again, these kind of personally fill me with dread, which is category and item specific changes. And the reason why they fill me with dread is because it means you've got to change your data. So even if you're using TurboLister, okay, you're going to have to grab the latest update of the categories. And again, I think they come in around April the 15th off the top of my head. And I'm just scrolling up and down to find the dates, which are much further down my page. Got that down at the bottom. Yeah, it's in April. I'm not entirely. April the 7th is when they change. Okay. Thank you, BCF, for that one. Is that what I am going to say is that while category changes are a pain in the rear to do, so that you'll probably have to tweak a couple of your products, and there's most likely going to be some item-specific changes, is that on April the 7th, go into, so if you sell women's footwear, for example, and that's one of, again, I'm not 100% sure that's one of the affected categories or not. If you go and check the links which we've got, is that go in and see if your categories are affected. If they are, what I would say is that you would have a competitive advantage over your competitors if you go and take hold of those changes first. So, for example, if there's a new recommended item specific and your competitors don't have that, and you have it on day one, is that you're one up on them. It will be temporary until they catch up, but you're the switched on person, you're the switched on business, which is jumped in there early, gained advantage by, number one, adapting your products to the new category structure, but also item specifics as well, because we know that eBay have made those changes for a reason. And the major reason which we've had over the last couple of years is because they've been aligning the UK site to the European site and Australia as well, okay? So that you can check that you've got, again, it will be trying to get those categories aligned to each other. And I've just got sidetracked with a question. Is there a win that checks out the item specifics update beforehand? Not that I'm aware of, I'm afraid, on there. Again, the reason, sorry, Marco's question is there a tool which can check the checkout and item specifics to make sure that they're up to date? Just from a programmatically point of view, that there used to be a tool which could do this, but to basically pull down every single one of your listings, then compare it across to the eBay recommendations, is an awful lot of data processing. And again, I know from my experience here, for those of you who joined at the beginning, we mentioned export my listings, is that it does take quite a while to come through. And Natasha's been and posted the link in the chat as well. Let me just grab that link and I'll open that up on a new window. Like so, is that, yeah, pages.ebay.co.uk/category changes. You'll be able to see the categories which have been changed. And again, if you sell in any of these categories, then you'll probably want to just check the downloads down here to see if any of your products are likely to be affected for them. Okay. And like I said, if you can jump on these early when they happen, is that for a short period of time, it could be a week, it could be a couple of months, depends on how sharp your competitors are, is that you can be in front of them for a short period of time. Okay.
Got another couple of questions as well then, Matt.
Yeah,
Adrian's asking, when does the rule kick in regarding listings not renewing if the photos aren't big enough?
That's a great question.
That's a good question.
And I
don't know the answer to that.
Let me grab that one, and it's the one date which I didn't drop in, and that'll be on the
question, Adrian.
Updates. Dave, do you want to grab the next question, and I'll find out that date.
I'll look at the next question. So after that, we have Damien asking, the new picture standards allow only clear photos except for car parts category. Is it going to be changed as well? And if yes, do we know when?
Right. Okay.
That's another question.
It's a great question. I don't know what it is about the vehicle parts and accessories category, which are just completely immune to these image requirements. So right now, it's that if you do, again, it was one of back at the time, it was that I can see why eBay are changing the images, because there have been some awful gallery images on eBay. And when you look like for like to Amazon, is that Amazon does look so much better from a customer's point of view. And that's me, my customer hat on, is that Amazon's just so much nicer to navigate, and there's not so much, how do we phrase this, crap in the actual images. I want to see the product, not the junk around it. But the
logos and watermarks and everything else.
Yeah, but even the little thin border around the outside made your listing stand out. And the vehicle parts and accessories category, they've escaped it this time around. I don't know how many more lives they can have, but it won't be long until the vehicle parts and accessory category gets caught up. So if you are in that category, just take advantage of it. Okay, take full and utter complete advantage of you not having the restrictions on the images. But thank you, Natasha. I'm just trying to type and talk at the same time, and neither's going very well. is that take advantage of it, okay, but be fully aware that we are going to get caught up, or you're going to get caught up with the eBay changes. Now, how fast eBay implement them, eBay generally play fair. So even if we were told in this update in spring, in March, that the image requirements are coming in, we are going to get 2 months notice minimum, okay? But also looking back, what they did with the other categories is that if you go on eBay right now, there are still a lot of images on there with the borders and backgrounds or junk in the actual product image. So how tough they are, I don't know. But what we do know, we'll get 2 months notice. Okay. Dave, next one.
Catherine asked which categories are affected, and I think we covered that one with what's on the screen currently.
Yeah, and it's from May. By the way, the other
May.
question. So from May, your existing GCC listings won't automatically renew, and that's the caveat. Okay, they won't automatically renew, and hence that's why we've got that tool up on our screen, which is that you can actually check those for your system. Okay.
I think Maria beat us to that one because she said, I think it's May for the photos to be updated. So thank you, Maria,
nice one.
Thank you for the link there. And Nathan has asked, in respect to your comment about the gallery images, I think this will be detrimental to businesses as we use them for brand recognition. I struggle to understand how businesses will identify themselves on eBay now.
Yeah, we had exactly the same conversation when we found out they were being removed. It's a tough one. It's
basically going back down to basics, isn't it? It's now eBay title, good quality images, and like I said, then you've got to hope to get to the product page, and the price is obviously going to play a massive part as well.
And that little note in there from Andre, eBay have been pressurized by Google for this. That sounds, I don't know if that's absolutely correct, but it sounds very logical.
It sounds very plausible, yeah.
Okay, so actually, let's just address the exact question. Right, number one, we can't do anything about this. Okay, we're all 50 of us in this room right now. We can't do anything about eBay rolling this back so we can have it. And again, this is why I was hoping to get Ian and Henry on today to get a couple of sellers which have been through numerous of these eBay changes, is that we can't change it. So I remember, Dave, I'm thinking back to one of the first eBay updates which I ever did, is that we can either chuck our toys out the pram, swear lots, probably do that anyway, but it's the businesses which just look for the competitive advantage which is going to happen. So if you can get in there faster than any of your competitors, take advantage of it. And again, that's my tip around the category changes. Get in there fast. The advantage will only be short. And again, in a period of a year, it will only be short, but it will give you an advantage. So wherever possible, try and work with the updates. So I have seen some very cunning watermarks being used on eBay. Again, do they push the limits of what you're supposed to do with a watermark? Hell yes. But they do look very good. So if you're looking for a specific suggestion, I would say watermarks. Okay. The subtitle is expensive. It's again, I'm pricing off the top of my head 35 pence, something like that. It is expensive. Okay, so that is an opportunity. But if we think about eBay specifically, is that and again, we wrote this in the one simple rule, which is that how do your customers find you? Number one, they make a search. So there is no branding in that search unless you're an outlet store, because the moment you type in that search, so women's snow boots, for example, is that you get the search results in front of you. In fact, Dave, why don't we just do this right now?
Yeah, sure.
Just pop this up on my screen.
It's always a good one to see. And like I said, if you haven't read the One Simple Rule ebook yet, this is it. You think like your customer. Try and do a search for one of your products. Okay,
so I've just come in here and done a search for women's snow boots. Okay, and let's maximize that out. And if your item was not found on the first page, and there's 45,000 search results on here, then your chances of being actually making the sale are very, very low. So it's the title of your product is so important, and I know what it's like. It's a real tough job between having a keyword-rich title and it being readable by a human. It's a real challenge, okay? But what I would say is that by the time the customers actually got into your listing, and again, I'll make this point out on my screen right now. So it's only when I'm hovering on these products, like so, is that you're getting the full title, okay? But the only reason the customer's hovering on them is because they're actually interested in the product, okay? So to actually get the customer to find your product in the first case, is that those titles are so important. And now I'm saying this, Dave, I think we should do take a note down to do the eBay research tutorial. And I think maybe we should do that next week. Okay,
Yep.
How to research keywords on eBay. Not only the free options, we'll look at TerraPeak as well, and we'll look at external tools as well. And we'll try and keep it free, but the daddy of all research tools specifically for eBay is TerraPeak, so we'll have a note at that as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, point being, customer makes a search. Okay. They will go through the results. And they may have a preview window which they're coming in here as well. And again, extra images. Okay. And again, these aren't the best images in the world. Okay. But they are extra images. And again, we're selling on the internet, and I do look at selling on the internet very, very simply, as in that our job is to create fantastic, ultra clear information for customers, so that when they press the buy button, and when that customer press the buy button, they make a commitment to you and eBay and your business that you're going to deliver what they can see on the page. Okay. And it's our job, your job, to create fantastic looking listings full of accurate information, so that when they purchase the product, they know that they're going to have these white snow boots turn up on their doorstep. And again, you as a customer, that's a lot of fluff in that image. Okay, you wouldn't be 100% sure on there. But on here, if we, in fact, let's go and pick on this seller. Okay, is that we can see exactly what we're going to have. And again, the moment we choose a color, we can actually see what we're going to send up on our doorstep. Okay, bit of a wild design in there, and not really a description of the product itself, but good quality images which they've got in there. Again, if you were looking for this pair of boots, and would you feel 100% sure what would turn up in the box on your door? Okay, always flip yourself to the customer's point of view. Okay, is that what's going? So when I open the box, or not me personally, when the wife opens the box and takes this boot out of the box, she's not going to have any surprises of what was in that box. So selling online is actually really straightforward in theory. Okay, as in that we've just got to create great quality information, artwork, titles, descriptions, that many other components, design and layout, are all key components of that. However, it's the whole piece together. So as far as branding goes, Nathan, sucks a little bit. The only place where you really truly get to brand as a normal seller on eBay is that when they hit your actual eBay listing. Okay, so it's a very long way round to answer the question, which is that the only chance which you really get to brand you and your business on eBay is that when they hit the listing. Okay. Dave, what's the next
Hello.
question? What's the next question while we're at it?
While we're at it, scrolling up. Yeah, Nathan's making, I don't think it's a question, making a point. eBay are trying to become Amazon, in my opinion, with these image updates, trying to push themselves as a one-stop shop instead of a high street / shopping mall that they've always been.
That's blatantly obvious. We've seen this. The writing's been on the wall for the last 2 to 3 years. They've been shocked by the growth of Amazon, and they are now trying to bring eBay, and i.e. you, up to speed with the level requirements of Amazon. But there is a fundamental difference between eBay and Amazon. Okay, eBay is a marketplace and they don't actually sell themselves, whereas Amazon do. Okay, and when I've previously mentioned the comparison between the two, I've always said that Amazon tolerate third-party sellers. They don't tolerate third-party sellers because it's something like 40% of all transactions on Amazon are made by third-party merchants, so people like yourself. So it is a large marketplace. But one of them is like sleeping with the devil because they will mine your data. Okay, they blatantly do this, and we've seen it numerous times. Is that if they find a product which works well, they will do their best to go and source it. Okay, you do have to do a large volume for them to take notice. And again, if you've got a specific niche and you're quite well nailed in, then you're going to be perfectly fine. But I've seen it with larger businesses and Pacific threads. They will pick up and mine that data and try and get the item in. And there's a specific conversation with a chap called Dave, which I'm thinking of right now, which was that he saw eBay, he saw Amazon source almost exactly the same product, take the product images with exactly the same layout and the way that the item was actually being laid out in the images, and exactly the same like for like on there. And they tried it for a period of time and just didn't compete with his listing. And then he got the phone call from Amazon. We want your products. Okay. And then now and he's actually selling directly to Amazon. Okay. On the flip side, Amazon will do what Amazon want. They'll give you 14 days notice. You'll get an email. You need to change all your images and you've got 14 days to do it. Whereas eBay, they play a lot more fair. Okay. They'll give you minimum of 2 months. And I think it was 162 days for the big update to come through. So they'll give you plenty of time, but this does put them on the back foot all the time because they are playing fair and they can't say change now within 14 days. They say change in about 2 months. Okay, so they'll give you 60 days notice. Okay.
Also, just to note there, Matt, there's a bit in my experience of stories that I've been told by sellers like yourselves is the dark side to Amazon, and that is you have a supply for a product out in China. You've been making orders. The orders are, your orders are getting shipped to the UK. You're selling them, and then when you go to make a new order with your supplier, Amazon have found out who your supplier is. They've contacted them directly, give them a ridiculous deal, and demanded exclusivity. Demanded exclusivity. Yeah, you can now no longer source your own products, and that is the dark side to Amazon, where they will use these sort of bully boy tactics. And it's Amazon. That's what they are. Yeah,
it's sleeping with the enemy kind of thing. It is that kind of scale, but it's a marketplace of comparable size, and you will get orders from there. So we've mentioned some of the negative sides to it. Please don't let that put you off Amazon at all. No. Okay.
But also, Matt, go. I was going to say, Matt was just pointing out, and eBay has a fantastic second-hand market, which Amazon really doesn't do. You can buy used and refurbished products on Amazon, but they're much more hidden and hard to find than they are on eBay.
Oh, absolutely. And again, you'll know that from your experience, Dave, with refurbished products, is that you just didn't stand a chance.
Yeah, eBay was fantastic. Amazon was all right, but it never really took off.
Like anything, if there's two pies if there's two slices of a pie, again, as an entrepreneur, if you're ever offered an or option, okay, think how you can have both. How can you have both? How can you have eBay and Amazon? How can you have slice A and how can you have slice B? And that is always the curious challenge of an entrepreneur, is that don't think about or options, always think how you can have a both option. How can you have both? All right, so a little bit of psychology there in the background, something which I just do all the time, which is that if I'm personally presented with an or option, I'm immediately thinking, how can I have both? Because I don't like or options. Okay.
Quick question by Adrian there is, how important will price be in the algorithm? I'm guessing it means a search algorithm. It seems that the cheapest floats to the top regardless at the moment.
Yeah, that's a curious thing. So Price is always going to be a major factor. Okay, there's no way around that. But on the flip side, sales history is more, and again, the history of your business is more. It is just as important as price. And what I mean by that, so that if you've got a specific eBay listing and it's got good sales history on it, frequent sales, so I mean sales every single day, or higher or better than the average for your category, okay, is that, yeah, you can have higher prices. Now, I am thinking of a different business now in the back of my head, and when they get a brand new product in, again, they sell small, low value items, so they're able to do this, okay. And one thing which they do is the first 10 items which they sell are at neutral cost. Okay, so they basically because featured first is now gone from eBay, where you could pay X amount. I think it's like, again, I think of another business, then 125 quid to have featured first, which is a no-brainer bargain for them. Okay, that's gone as well. So you can't pay to alter the search ranks, but inadvertently you can actually pay to do this if you're willing to work a little bit more smarter. And the one example which I'm going to give you is that for a brand new product which comes in, is that the first 10 which they sell are profit neutral. So they don't actually make any money on the product, but they do sell because they are at a super cheap price. However, when they've made that 10 sell, when they've been and made those 10 sales, is that then they put the listing up to the ideal sell price. And of course, that's now been tweaked the search results, because you've got this listing and it's got 10 sales on it, which came in very, very quickly because the pricing was super aggressive. But then the pricing has now been changed, and then then that will kickstart it. So that is today's equivalent of featured first. Okay, first couple of listings, just take the hit on it. Okay, and again, you can't do this for all products. I know that. But if you've got an item which you know that it's going to do really well, take the hit on the first couple. I'm using 10 because that's what that other seller does. It could just be 2. It could just be 1. Okay, just get that sell in, because then that's like a red flag to eBay saying, oh, this item's new and someone's just bought it. This must be good. Let me move up the rankings a little bit. Okay. So that's what I would suggest for that. Okay. Right. Sorry, I've gone off on a tangent, which is great, by the way. We have not gone past the first 3 things on the page, which we had up. What's next up, Dave?
What, the questions, or with the next subject to talk about?
Excuse me, next subject.
Fitment codes being increased, which is obviously going to be useful if you sell in the sort of car parts and car accessories section. The limit has now been increased to 3,000, that's 3 times more than what it was. Was it the original limit 1,000?
Yeah, that's right. And again, the caveat to that is that if you're using the other category within the car parts and accessories categories, is you're now limited to 100. Okay, so on what eBay increased it 3 times on the left-hand side, which is fantastic news because 1,000 was always limiting. On the other side is that if you're using the other category, then you've gone to 1/10 of what you had before. Okay, that's probably all we're going to note on there, because if you do sell in the car parts and accessories category, I know that you're going to be all over that like a rash. Okay. Okay. Next up, Dave, eBay fee updates.
Yeah, we mentioned this briefly at the beginning, and the good news that comes with this is that now every store is eligible for eBay Promotion Manager, and the supersize image option is now free and is no longer like an additional cost. And the other news is that every category, the final value fees have gone up by 1%. Mm-hmm. So if you were paying 10% final value fees, it's now 11%. And in the home and garden and sporting goods categories, in certain categories there, they have limited the final value fee to £50. So if you're selling something over £500, then you are better off.
Yeah, indeed. And I didn't actually realise and twig at the point in time, which was that how many categories are affected by this. So from bedding all the way through to wholesale, it's a sweeping change for the vast majority of the categories. I think it was only tech and clothing which was unaffected. Slight exaggeration, but that's what it felt like once I realised how many categories which were being affected. Can't do any again. Fee increases suck, but it's gone up by 1%. But eBay there to make money, and as long as they get us more customers, I think everybody's going to be happy. So that's probably what that's my only real constructive comment around fee increases on there. Oh, there were some changes to the reserve fees as well. So I've just grabbed the article off the last drop of ink to remind me on there. I don't know, and again, one of you or two of you may actually use reserve fees on eBay. I haven't used them in years. Okay, mainly because I've been focusing upon fixed price items, and the businesses which I work with focus upon fixed price items themselves. Okay, and there was a fee increase as well if you were listing auctions with a buy it now option as well. Okay, so that's gone up, and it went from like 8 to 10p, 15 to 20, and so on and so forth. And just be wary of that one if you're using auctions with bin, because they're going to go up. Okay, let me move that one out of the way. If you're a basic store owner, then you've got the eBay Promotions Manager. Now, just thinking about a conversation which I had in a meeting was that eBay kind of indicated that if you spend the time on the eBay Promotions Manager, and Dave, let me just find Argos on eBay, because I know they'll have the Promotions Manager on the top of their listings. So you can find a good example.
Questions coming from Steve. RE, the item promotion in Promotions Manager. I noticed that the M3 Pro listed items are not showing images. Any ideas what can be done about that? That's an interesting one, that, Steve. If you haven't already, can you put something in the forums and explain exactly, if you've got like screenshots, something to show, an example of what the problem is, then drop it in the forums and we'll take a look at it.
Was that a specific eBay listing, Dave?
He just said, I noticed that the M3 Pro listed items are not showing images.
Ooh, that's a curious one. Don't know. Chuck us in an item number in the forums and we'll have a nose for you. That's probably the best thing to do. Okay. So focusing upon the Promotions Manager, it's this block here, save up to 10%. And again, this isn't the best example, because if you're buying a TV, you're probably only buying a TV. Okay, you don't want to buy two at a specific 10% saving. Okay, but if you think about a TV and the accessories which could come with that, is that if you had the TV bracket, okay, you may not be the most competitive person on eBay for a TV bracket, but if you're selling TVs and you have this small line of brackets available, and maybe those AA batteries as well, so that your customer can buy this TV, a TV bracket, and some extra batteries for a specific saving, while you may not be competitive on the individual products, but as a whole, because you're just going to chuck the bracket in the or put the bracket not in the box, because you might anyway, you chuck it, make a whole
don't
order
put brackets in boxes, mate. It's a nightmare
for it. But you could tape it to the box, the side of it. You can see what we can do there. So as in that, it's going to cost you the same amount to ship the item to the customer. So what could you? And again, it depends on your courier. Some again, speak to your courier, because they may do multi-part deliveries for the same price as the one box if you can send two boxes. Okay, depends on your courier. Probably not Royal Mail. But if you're using something like DPD or Parcel Force, then they will have those options available to you. Anyway, coming back on some topic, is that if you're selling a TV, what can you accessorize with the TV? Bracket, batteries. If it's a Bluetooth TV, maybe a Bluetooth keyboard to go with it on there. And again, I'm chucking out some some ideas here. And again, you don't have to be the most competitive person as far as price goes for that product. But as a bundle, the customer is going to go for convenience. And remember one thing, there's one rule which you can always live by. Convenience always wins, okay? So if you were Argos with this item, is that you could have the current item here on the left, then you could have your TV bracket and the batteries and maybe a Bluetooth keyboard, okay? And they could add it to their basket. So the moment you add a second item, eBay works it out as a group, and then you can add it through. So whichever product which you sell, you can normally always accessorize somewhere, okay? And again, remember, you don't have to be the most competitive person on eBay for that product. But if you've got that, so if you do sell TVs and you've got lots of them, then you only need a very small range of brackets, okay? If not just one bracket, maybe that you only put that on, you choose a bracket which you can use with multiple TVs, for example, and just accessorize. And it's these little upsells, because every time a customer chooses an upsell, your average order just went up, okay? That means that you're selling more. There's more chance to make more money from every single upsell. And again, I'm going to quote one person specifically, which this isn't a substantiated fact, but one business saw a 75% increase because they did spend the time on those. And again, eBay aren't going to publish that, but it did come from within their team, okay? And that's from a business who sat down and actually done this really well, okay? I don't think you would probably get anywhere near that, even if you get 10 or 20% extra, okay? So what happens if you added 10 to 20% extra on top of your top line, okay? Those extra sales, you're sending a product to them anyway for it. Why can't you get a little bit extra in there, okay? And anyway, eBay Promotions Manager is now free with the eBay Basic Shop. You get it on Featured and you get it on Anchored. And if there's only one thing to take away from today, go and have a look at the Promotions Manager. There is one thing still missing. With all that said, and again, as you can tell, I'm a fan about the Promotions Manager. If there's one thing which I could put my finger on, which is missing from this as a whole, is discount codes. So if we think about Amazon for a moment, is that you can set up specific discount codes as either as a global or per customer within their Promotions Manager on Amazon. On eBay, you can't do that right now. So that's one of the little pieces which are missing. Are we going to see it in the future? Hell yes. When are we going to see it? Don't know. Hopefully, end of the year, maybe into next year. But that's the one thing which I'd say is missing. Okay. Sorry, Dave, I've gone off on a bender. Can you bring me back onto the topic?
Yep, sure can. Adrian made a comment. I expect eBay will reward listings that have linked items so they can earn more percentage for commission if the customer buys more. It's very true. It's very true. You increase your overall basket spend. Yeah, that is part of the parcel that goes with it. And Daniel has said, will the postage price change to reflect the upsell item? Yes, I believe it does. It depends on your settings, but obviously it does realise that there's actually 2 items in the basket, and you can apply a postage cost to each item.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so on to eBay stores and the new eBay collections.
Okay. What I'm going to do, I've just been in spot at the time, okay, which is 10:55. So we want to try and keep this to an hour, and any spill over, then we'll just expedite the next sections. Okay. What I'm going to say around the eBay stores is that I'm really impressed by the changes which they've got. So let me just put this on my screen over here. Digital Goer. We made this video to go with this, didn't we, Dave? For the eBay release.
Yep.
Okay. But they've been and changed their header image. Okay. And lucky offers for St. Patrick's Day. They're on the ball.
Yeah, these guys are doing it well. And like I said in the video, it will be interesting to see what people do with these banner images. And here's a great example. Digital Goer are obviously trying to keep it as relevant to what's going on in real world as possible. and that's a fantastic example of what these guys are doing. Fair play to these guys.
Yep, indeed. And again, we're gonna, the moment this is released, what me and Dave will do, we'll go make a video guide for you to follow us. Okay, so you can follow step by step on the eBay stores. And again, I don't want to get dragged into this one, but basically, if you watch the screen, that's cool, and that's miles better than what it was before. It's quite different from the customized stores which you've seen up to today, and that's where I'm going to leave it. Okay.
Yep.
Dave, we did also have the collections, and this does open up a wider topic with the eBay collections.
It does. Now, there's going to be interesting, like I said, collections are a bit different. If you saw the press release a couple of weeks ago, they had Danny Minogue and Reggie Yates, Alex James, I think he was called. Yes, Matt's favourite, Danny Minogue. All showing, their collections on eBay. And a collection is basically a selection of items which they like or they grouped into a sort of a folder of sorts that you can browse through. And to me, this just screams Pinterest. But it's Pinterest with a buy button. And that's what makes this interesting.
Yeah, it's like it was like exactly that. So if we take the eBay stores, that, again, let me just get this on my screen as well so we put this side by side, is that top header image that's a Facebook profile picture, which we've got on there. There's your header image. We've got your profile picture on there. That is just Facebook, okay? The follow button, Twitter, all the way, okay? And again, follow pin, or pin it. That's the label which is missing. And the crucial difference between Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, any of the other sites, okay, is that all of them are non-transactional. Okay. Yeah. Nathan, you bang on. They are nicking every cool feature from all the other social sites and putting it on eBay. Okay. But the fundamental difference between eBay and another social networking site, they don't have the buy button and they don't have the buyers there. Okay. How well this is going to work out in the future, I don't know. But one thing I do know, people like Facebook, people like Twitter, they like Pinterest, okay? But the fundamental difference is that when your customers are on eBay, they're there with their credit card. And I'm just looking around my desk to find the credit card. I've got the credit card in my hand. I'm a customer, okay? I may not physically have that card in my hand as a customer there and then, but I do have a PayPal account. And if I like that necklace and it's available, then they'll buy it, okay? And again, looking at even more simply, is that anything which keeps a customer on eBay for longer has to be good, okay? Because the longer they're on the eBay site, the more chances that they're going to see, number one, your products, and number two, that they're going to make a purchase, okay? And that's the reason why we use eBay at the end of the day, because they got the customers, and we want customers to purchase from us. Okay, so that's the simplest way of looking at it.
Just looking at a couple of questions that have come in here, Matt. Henry asks, do we know if Design Hub will be offering the new store designs yet? I imagine Design Hub will be on that very quickly, and I've not heard from them about it, but those guys are pretty quick, pretty on the ball. I don't think it'll be long before they will start offering the new eBay design service.
If it's possible. There's a caveat to that.
That's a good point, yeah.
If it's possible for it. It may turn into banner creation for the top. And again, we saw what Facebook happened with these profile pictures. We saw this mashup of people putting, give me a second. Let's go and pick on The Simpsons.
Okay. While I'm doing that, Paul has asked, what about Facebook commerce? Is that already dead? And Marco's put, I have a Facebook store which features my website items. I've had one sale in 6 months. Now this, okay, that's found The Simpsons.
Yeah,
that is clever. That's very clever.
Okay, and I'm going to put that side by side. Okay, non-transactional Simpsons in the background. Hasten to add. Okay, but that's the thing which that's what I'm personally really excited about with the new store changes, is what you are going to do with this header image and mash in the actual header image, so the background image at the top of Facebook, and that's a nice advert. And then this little block down here. It's the combination. So I'm really looking for the really fun things which we spot, what sellers, what the cool people like you are going to be doing with their eBay stores. So yeah, sorry, that was just one other thing which I wanted to point out.
But a quick one back to Paul and Marco is, for me, Facebook commerce was never going to work that well due to the mode that the customer, or we call them a customer, is in, what the person is in. When they're on eBay, they're in buy mode, or at least window shop mode. They're looking at things that they want to buy. If they're on Facebook, they're in social mode. They want to either talk with their friends, start profile pictures, post funny cat videos, and that's about it. They're in wind down mode. They're not in let's have a look and buy something mode. And I think that is the main reason why F-commerce, as it was dubbed a few years ago, has never really taken off. And that's why it's super interesting to see how eBay is going to do this, because obviously eBay has the buyers in buy mode, and now they're doing it the other way around. Facebook's tried to bring e-commerce to social. Now eBay is bringing social to e-commerce, and I think for me that fits a lot better. And I think it will be interesting to see if eBay can once again change how buyers buy, and if they can introduce a much more social aspect to it. If anyone could do it, eBay can.
Mm-hmm.
So
just make a point. Yeah, just make a point. Yeah. There's one of my chats with Phil on Facebook. I'm talking about coffee. Okay, I'm not. That's my conversation, and ads are obtrusive, and you'll see that there's a blocked 10 ads on Facebook. When I'm on Facebook, I don't want to read ads. Okay, I want to talk to the people which I'm on there to talk to. Okay, and to catch up, like to see what Dave's done last night, to see what the wife's been posted, see what the mother-in-law's posted, friends, family, etc., etc. I'm not on there for a transaction. That's why it was always doomed in the beginning. Anyway. Yeah. Point taken.
Quick question from, sorry Matt, I'll be dead quick. Yeah, Nathan, I don't get the Pinterest feature though. You end up cross-promoting your competitors if you have limited products yourself. That is true. In which case you would use collections, or you wouldn't use collections if you didn't have anything to shout about that was your own product. Adrian, yes. This is for you to be able to create your own collections and use your own products in these collections. And again, it's almost like another cross-sell feature where, if people are looking for similar items, they can see similar items that you have in stock. What, again, is interesting with collections, and I've sort of brushed over it very quickly, is how people are going to use them in terms of seasonality. So a free one for anyone who sells in sporting goods categories. The World Cup is coming up. That's going to be huge. So if you sell replica football shirts, footballs, football nets, if you start putting those together in a collection of, similar items which you might want to buy for your kids, for friends, then they will do really well.
Yeah, sporting is such an obvious one. Formula One just started on the weekend.
Yeah.
There you go. Anything Formula One related. Massive peak. Sorry.
Yeah. Another one is, the summer festivals is going to come up. So you could do a festival collection with tents, sleeping bags, cookers, earplugs if you don't like the music, and all that sort of stuff. And those are just a few ideas that have just come from the top of our head. And it is literally one of those collections. Again, it's new. We don't know what people are going to do, whether buyers are going to take to them. I personally think they will. But yeah, if you don't try it, you won't know. And yeah, to me, it's just another great way of getting your products in front of customers. And if you can find a way, again, it's one of those, the early adopters will always win. The ones who get it right, who spend the time to learn it and to find out how it will work, they're the ones who'll see the benefits. And that's my main advice there.
Yeah. Always be first in, both feet, dive in, chuck a couple of hours at it. Worst case, nothing happens. Okay, we don't know where eBay collections are going to go. Okay, what we do know is that eBay have thought out for 4 celebrities. They're on the homepage, and they're only going to make it bigger, okay? Because we've seen the integration into the About Me page is basically gone, okay? They're going to integrate the stores, the listings. They're going to integrate it in with the followers, and collections are one part of that. What happens over longer term, we genuinely don't know. This may fade out in a year's time, or it could go pretty big, okay? But that's a chance. It's a chance of a couple of hours on a Saturday morning, cup of coffee, let's make a couple of collections, okay? And just
to answer your question there, Daniel, sorry, on the right-hand side of Matt's page there, it says, see today's collections. And that's on the home page. So that is how people can now find collections on eBay. Those aren't just Danny Minogue's collections, sorry, Matt, but these are now, everyone is creating collections. So that is how you now find collections on eBay. And it won't surprise me if more and more links, emails went out showing you where you can find collections. Sorry to interrupt.
That's right. We know that eBay are just going to market the living daylights out of this. Okay. They've said that we have a budget for this because they've been and brought in celebrities to do this. That tells that for me as a business owner and you, that it tells us that there is a budget for this. And when it comes to marketing, that's probably a very large business. So that 1% increase, that's probably gone into eBay collections and its promotion over a long period of time. Yeah, directly, it's probably not true, but you can guess that they've got. Let me get this correct. They have a marketing budget. They're going to spend it, and they're going to spend part of that on collections. So it's not going to go away. Okay. Disappointments I noticed here is that I followed Digital Goer, Jeff's Music Gear, and they are now got pinned into my dashboard on eBay, and that's what I'm seeing as a customer. And that model airplane, cool. And that's what your customers will see if they follow you from the store, from your About page. That's where you will appear in there, and your products will appear in there as well. Okay. So there's a couple of questions down there at the bottom, Dave.
Reviews help sell products. Are eBay going to include reviews on products? I've not heard anything about that. There is a fantastic widget by Widget Chimp, which can bring in feedback onto your product page. But as for actual product reviews, I've not seen anything about that.
Yeah, I can't grab an example to show you right now, Maria, but there are, again, in the tech categories where eBay tried to replicate the Amazon catalog and being able to put reviews on there. I know that when I've clicked through, when I've been looking for stuff, and I've turned the ad blocker off because I am specifically looking for specific products, when I've gone off onto Google and then I've ended back on eBay, is that they have highly customized landing pages for customers which have come in by Google, and reviews, especially in tech products, because I was looking for a wireless router for the house or another one, and there were loads of extra reviews in there, which what customers have been said. So they do have reviews in there. It's just not so apparent within like the main part of eBay, which you see day to day. It's when you come in externally from doing a search. Okay. And again, I'm very, very conscious of time. Okay. What we're going to do around eBay stores and collections, we're going to make you up 2 separate guides. Okay, we're just going to give you as many suggestions, tips, and show you how to make, number 1, how to make the new eBay store. Number 2, how to make collections, and give you as many ideas as what we can think of, so that you can make collections, and at least get a couple of collections created. Okay. What else we got up? Oh, eBay top rated seller changes.
Yep. So the bar has been raised higher again, which should really come as no surprise. The thing is, eBay set the bar for ETRS, and everyone goes and gets, all the sellers that can, who put the time in, put the effort in, and they get TRS. And all of a sudden, it's not that special anymore because so many sellers have upped the game and become TRS. So eBay has to keep moving the goalposts a little bit to make TRS, stand out as being a top-rated seller.
Mm-hmm. Okay. One thing was, so my 2 comments around the changes. Number 1, the bar's been raised higher. Okay, that's got to be a good thing for customers. okay, because it makes all of us up our game on eBay. So ultimately the customer wins, okay. On the negative side, what I would say is that it's still not as clear as Amazon. So on Amazon, you have seller ratings, and you can see exactly which transaction you made a boo-boo on, okay, or something went wrong on. They would tell you exactly which transaction it was. With eBay, you still don't know. Will we ever know? Don't know. Okay, so the plus side, it's got to be good for customers. Negative side, still not as good as Amazon. But changes change. And let me just scroll on to the next slide on there. They've introduced clearer defect rates as well, so that if you're aspiring to be an eBay top rated seller, or you already are, then you're only allowed a maximum of 2% defect rates. And again, just back on the other slide, I did do a little bit of maths, so that if you're processing 1,000 orders a month, okay, you're only allowed 20 defects, okay. And again, if you're a non-top rated seller, then that's 50 per 100, and that's right, Natasha, that is really, really low. So let's just think about this a moment. Again, I'm just chucking you a question. Take it as you may. Okay, if you're only selling 20 items a week, okay, but you're making really good money on those, or maybe even you're selling 200, okay, and you're not going to get to this level, okay, is it an idea to get a buffer product? Okay, so a profit neutral item, which I saw an item a couple of days ago, and it was in the catering category. I'm not going to say which product it was, but it was really cheap. We were talking like £1.20, okay, which was that it was no hassle, very unlikely to go wrong. If it got lost in the post, you could send them to, and you wouldn't care, okay. It was also a high volume product as well, so that you can then at least buffer your business with a low value, high volume product, which is going to cause you very, very little grief, because the moment you get a problem with a customer with it, you just give them an immediate refund and send them another because you really didn't care about it. Okay. Yeah, you might make a little bit of money on them, but that will just cover the refunds and sending stuff back. Okay. So are there any obvious buffer products around so if you sell catering supplies, is there a product which you can sell all day long and it is never going to go wrong? Okay, get one of those in. Okay, yes, it does mean you have to pack more packages, but it does buffer your ETRS rating to at least tip you up. Okay, and yeah, and again, as Natasha points out, mind you, Amazon is 1%. Again, to get that high level up there. Okay, so the introduced the defects rates, and again, it's a lot more clearer now. I'm just going to skip over those. Okay, so defects, or boo-boos, as you may call them. Okay, so if you get a rating of 1, 2, or 3 for item as described, if you think back to my other comment around item descriptions, and our purpose, or the way to sell online, is that our purpose is to create fantastic quality listings, so images, titles, descriptions, etc., so that me or your customer, when they buy, is that the item which they get in their box and they open up, that they've got that brown boot. Remember that brown quilted boot which we had up at the very beginning? Is that when I open that box, well, when your customer opens that box, that's the product which they get. Okay, so a rating 1, 2, or 3, it means that basically we need to do a better job. Okay, or that listing needs to do a better job to represent the product to the customer. Okay, yeah, and that would be ace if customers actually read the description, which is lol.
That's a very good point.
That is absolutely true, but that does highlight the importance of product images. Okay. Great quality product images. Remember back to the beginning when we did the search for women's snow boots, there were some okay images in there. There was that fuzzy one, or the one which attracted me was the great quality image on the left hand side. Images rock. They tell 1,000 words. They tell a story in that, what that product is. So yeah, can't stop customers from not reading the description, but great quality images will help. Okay. Returns for an item not as described. That's a fun one. And again, I know that was the topic which Henry wanted to bring up, which is that we are expecting abuse. Okay. So number 2 is that when, again, this is matched in with managed returns, which we haven't discussed. Okay. Is that with the returns for an item not as described, is that the customer won't have to pay for the return postage. Okay. If they enter that option, there's a note in there. As for point 2 on the defects slide, this will be tricky for sellers of in the clothing category that receive a lot of items not as described returns. Yes, it is already described properly. eBay are forcing sellers to use eBay managed returns now, and if a buyer gets free postage, they will select not as described. Yeah, too right, because I know what a customer would do. They would go, that one I got to pay for, and that one I don't. They won't take them long to work it out. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the danger one. So this is the one which you need to be looking out for. Okay, returns is not for items described, and that will be customers playing the system. Okay, you can appeal up that when the item comes back, and if it's found in your favor, for example, then eBay will reverse that. But that is, again, out of all of these, that's the dangerous one. Okay, because at the moment it's a bit of an unknown, and we know that what eBay buyers are like. They're smart cookies. Okay, they won't take them long to work that out. Number 3, no-brainer. Number 4 is a real curious one. All I'm going to say is happy days. And again, the conversation went with that one, which was that eBay couldn't find conclusive evidence that somebody rating a 2 for dispatch time was going to impact the customer coming back. So they've put it as 1. That's a nice one. I don't think we're going to get much grief on that one, so that's all I'm going to say. Did I put that in? Oh, yeah, item not as described, item not received. Okay, those are just straightforward quality of information and dispatch process. Okay, negative feedback, yeah, great. Neutral feedback, as I think someone just mentioned just a few moments ago, I was reading. Daniel. Neutrals are often a new buyer on eBay not understanding the feedback etiquette. Absolutely, just give them a ring. Okay. Again, as much as it's annoying, you probably want to swear at them for leaving you a neutral. Just phone them up and see what the problem was. Okay. I've over like 20,000 transactions, I ever shouted at one customer, and he was being a complete nose. And he was completely unfair. And again, maybe I shouldn't have lost my rag with him at the point in time. But anyway, 99.999% of the time, their reason was probably valid. Flip yourself into their shoes, see what the problem was, and it's just straightforward customer service. Okay, so yeah, just give them a ring. You can get the details off eBay, shoot them an email, be really friendly, and see what was up. And again, they may not know. Okay, and if that was the case, happy days, feedback revision request, job done. Okay. Yeah, very good point. If you need to shoot, okay, we are over time. If you need to shoot, we won't hold it against you if you need to go. Okay, if you've got business work to be doing, do leg it. And Dave, I'm going to set an absolute cap on this for past, and we'll go.
Yeah, no, we are recording this as well. But yeah, if you like I said, we will be able to catch up on the last bit.
Yeah, okay, we'll get that rendered up and on the site later today. Okay. And again, my coffee's stone cold, so I will be going very shortly. So we'll go for 10 more minutes, and that's it. Okay. The curious one: transactions cancelled by you due to stock to being out of stock, or an item being sold to another buyer. Yeah, that's a tricky one. Again, I need to write a blog post on this one, Dave. Any software is good software. Okay. Have your house in order as far as stock control goes. It's going to happen, okay, and you could probably avoid that one by getting in contact with the customer. So don't cancel it. Speak to your customer and see if they'll take something else in there. So try and keep away from cancellations. Okay. Was there any other questions which came in there, Dave, before jumping off?
No, I think lots of people are just generally talking about feedback and how impossible it was, Natasha.
Indeed. Just a quick observation. Nathan, would you like to speak to Henry? What I would probably suggest is give each other a shout on the forums and then have a chat, because it sounds like you two have had similar challenges in the past. And again, this is one of the purposes of this of the Tuesday coffee mornings, is for each of you to talk to each other. Okay, so on there, DSR category specific. Yeah, Nathan, there's a comment in there from Nathan about feedback and DSR should be category specific. Yeah, possibly. But remember, eBay have got a very tough job of being able to create one set of rules for a very, very, very varied range of businesses. And I think they actually do a really good job considering what they've got to do. So while that would be nice, probably unrealistic that we'll ever see anything from that. Yeah, it's impossible. Yeah, impossible. Let me just scroll down. Okay. There's a quick note on here. Okay, loaded auctions. Now, many of you know that there's a limit of 15 listings which are allowed on eBay for the same product. So that's 14 auctions and 1 buy it now. This is going to be changing with loaded auctions. Now, if you haven't looked at an auctions in a very, very long time, what we would say is come back and reconsider them, because when this is out, and the metaphor which I used, which was that David, thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, is that think of it about it as being a loaded gun. Okay, probably not the best metaphor, but it's the easiest one to relate to. And you have 6 rounds in there, and each one of those rounds is an auction. Okay, so you've got the bullet in the barrel. Okay, which is the auction. You put the auction onto eBay, and you've got the other 6. You actually list the other 5. You actually list 6 auctions onto eBay, but only one of them, the first one, actually shows up in the search results. The moment that listing gets a bid, okay, that's like you pulling the trigger, okay? And what happens when you pull the trigger? The next round comes around into the barrel. And what eBay will then do is release the next auction, okay? So if you have a really desirable product at a price point which is going to attract bids, okay, is that you could have 6 or 10 or however many listings you wanted lined up in the background. eBay are only going to show one, but the second that one's got a bid on, then they're going to show the next one. And of course, when that one gets a bid on, the next one's going to come through. So you're going to go through your clip of rounds or auctions, as the case may be, very, very quickly. Then the caveat is, and this is the curious one, Dave, is that if you get no bids, when those auctions finish, you get your money back.
Can't say better than that.
Yeah, so you've got this primed gun there waiting to launch these extra listings out. And at the end of it, if it all doesn't go wrong, you get your money back. Very curious. So that's why I was saying, if you've not looked at auctions in a long time, okay, maybe it's worth you coming back and looking at these once again, I'm calling them loaded auctions. Okay, maybe they're worth coming back and having a look at as well. Okay.
We also have managed returns, and that is basically. It looks like you've not. I did make some bullet points, but we'll get them.
Yeah, it's the slide that doesn't update. Yeah.
No worries. So we managed returns is going to be starting in the autumn, and sellers that are accepting returns will have to use eBay's managed returns service. And the interesting point is, after that, it will then gradually be rolled out to all sellers. So it is coming, and it doesn't look like there's much that we can do about this. It's managed returns. The managed returns service is coming by eBay in autumn, and everyone, sooner or later, is going to be using it. You got any thoughts on that, Matt?
Yes, I do. So I'm just typing a message.
No.
Yeah, all these slides, I'll export them and I'll stick them on slideshare.net. That's probably the best way of doing it. Okay. So I'll put the link underneath this when we actually publish the
audio
video. Yeah, the recorded version. Okay. Do I have any comments on that? Yeah, it's coming. There's not a lot we can do about it. Is it the right thing for customers? Hell yeah. Will customers game the system? Hell yeah. Is there anything we can do about it? No. So that's kind of the comments to it. It's coming. eBay are telling us now that in autumn that it's going to get hit by. Yeah, they're giving us plenty of notice. Okay. To avoid customers manage returns, I've asked customers to take a photo of any damaged goods prior to returning. Brilliant idea, Natasha.
Yeah.
And so in the chat box, you'll see down there on the left-hand side, Natasha's comment there. Again, practical advice. Love it. To avoid customers abusing the managed returns, I often ask customers to take a photo of any damaged goods prior to returning. I think that's probably all you
Great
can ask.
advice. And also, we what about replacements instead of refunds? I actually don't know. I have no idea how that will be handled with managed return service. We haven't really been told much about it yet, other than that it is coming in the autumn.
Okay. And again, I got my hands up. I've had very little dealings with that personally, again, because businesses which I work with, the advice to them being right now has been not to use it, keep it in your internal processes. But the reason for that is that they have great processes in place. The whole idea of managed returns is number one. Remember that chart back at the beginning, is that they want to bring them up to eBay up to level with the other marketplaces. Okay. And number two, it just makes it easier for customers as well. Okay. Right. I can see the chat going on there in the background.
Seller pays return postage if item not as described. To be fair, that is probably the right way to do it. If you are selling, if your item is not as described, then you should pay the return postage. Really, if the item is genuinely I see where the problem is going to be. Is the item genuinely not as described, or is the buyer maybe trying to play the system a bit?
Yeah, and that's what we said. They're going to game the system. If that's the one place which is going to be gamed, that's it. Okay. Again, eBay do play fair. There are some safety mechanisms in the DSRs, in the defect rates, as they're now called. Daniel, thank you for your time. We'll catch you soon. We will be wrapping up in literally 2 minutes. Okay. That's the one area for it to be gamed. We know that. So again, that's why purpose of the chat this morning. Point that one out. Okay, wrapping up. There's 2 other quick topics I just want to quickly squeeze in before we leg it, which is export my listings. I know some of you guys have been waiting for this. This is a tool to export all of your eBay listings, get them out to a file which you can then use to import into Magento. This is getting, again, I've said it for a while now, it's getting close. I spent the entirety of yesterday coding on that. There's a screenshot. It really is real, okay? And again, I've got a couple of little tasks to do. Also for premium users, there's a couple of screenshots of a responsive eBay listing template which we've been working on as well. That will be ready either later today or tomorrow morning from the eBay listing template tool. Okay. And yep, trying to keep on top of it on time. Okay. What guides are due out this week? We had 4 yesterday. No, let me get this right. We had 3 yesterday. The 4th one is coming out as well. So you should have had 2 guides for transactional emails. On there, you would have had Widget Chimp, and we've got an interview with the CEO of eBizMarts, which came out as well in there. And Dave, have I missed one as I've gone along?
No, they're the 4. We had 2 for transactional emails, 1 for Widget Chimp. The one with Ignacio from eBizMarts will be going live very soon. I ran into a few delays last night, so couldn't get back in time to get that out. But yeah, the Widget Chimp one is in the listing templates course.
Yeah. Okay. There's 4 edits which I need to make to the last one. Okay.
Yeah. No,
what I would say just before you leg it, okay, before you go and get yourself a fresh coffee like I'm about to do, is thank you. Okay, thank you for joining us this morning. It will be the same 10 o'clock next Tuesday. Okay. We do have a couple of ideas of the topics for next week, But what we would like you to do is to let us know of any suggestions on what you would like us to discuss or cover next week. Okay, so it's an open forum. You set the topic. We'll do our best to host it. One thing which I would really like to see next week, okay, if any of you would like to actually join us and talk with us live, okay, please let me or Dave know, okay?
Yeah.
And you can do that, support@understandinge.com, okay? Let us know and we'll get you on. We will just check that your microphone's all right, etc., beforehand. Again, we learned something this week, okay? Come and join us because it's about you and your businesses, and if we can help you, we will do. And that's an awful lot for me and Dave.
Thank you, everyone, for all the messages in the chat as well. We really appreciate that you appreciate us and what we've done so far. It does mean a lot. We are reading them. But yeah, we can't do this without you guys. So the thanks goes to you and for supporting us as we do it.
Okay. And remember, no such thing. Yeah, no such thing as a daft question. Yeah. All right. So for myself, Matt,
week, everyone. And me, Dave.
Have a great week. See you soon.
See you now.